Welcome, young mathematicians. This is Lesson 1, Order of Operations Review. The big question in today's lesson is how do I add, subtract, multiply, and divide in the correct order? To answer that question, we are going to review something called PEMDAS. This might be familiar to you and it might be new, but either way, we're going to talk about it. So, PEMDAS is a way to help you remember the order of operations. The P in PEMDAS stands for parentheses. So, anything that is inside of parentheses is always the first operation that you do. Exponents is what E stands for, and we will not be covering these in this unit on word problems, but just a quick little explanation of exponents. For example, 2 to the power of 3 means that you multiply 2 by itself 3 times. So this means 2 times 2 times 2, and then you just go from left to right. So 2 times 2 is 4, and then we still have this times 2 here, and then 2 times 2 is 8. So 2 to the power of 3 would give us a result of 8. And again, we're not going to get too hung up on this, so just put that off to the side. You'll do more of exponents further in your math career. All right, next we have multiply and divide. Now these two, even though M comes before D, these are in a group together. So if you run into a math problem with both multiplication and division, you don't necessarily have to do one before the other. These you just go in order from left to right. So don't worry about the M being before the D. If you have a problem where division comes before multiplication, you just go in order from left to right. All right, and then the last two operations, A and S, are adding and, you probably guessed it, subtracting. All right, and just like with multiply and divide, adding and subtracting also go from left to right. So just because the A is before the S doesn't mean you have to add before subtract. It just depends on the order with those. All right, so now let's put this into practice. We have some examples, and you also have some problems that you're going to try today. So it might be a good idea to pause the video and get some scratch paper because we are going to be doing some math here. Okay, so in example 1, we have 3 minus 2 plus 4. So I always like to write down PEMDAS and then go in order and make sure I'm doing this correctly. So I can see there's no parentheses, so I don't have to worry about those. We won't use any exponents here, so never worry about E for now. I'm looking, there's no multiplication and no division, but there is addition and subtraction. Now here's what I was mentioning earlier. Even though we have 3 minus 2 plus 4, you don't have to do the 2 plus 4 first. Adding and subtracting just go in order from left to right. So we're just going to do this from left to right because it only contains addition and subtraction. So first, 3 minus 2 is 1. Then we add 4. And then we get our result of 5. So for example 1, our answer is 5. Let's try another example. Okay, so again, if we write down PEMDAS, we don't have any parentheses here. We don't have any exponents, but we do have multiplication and division. We actually have division. So we need to do the 10 divided by 5 first because division comes before addition and subtraction. So 10 divided by 5 is 2. And then we still have this 5 minus in front. And then lastly, so we didn't have multiplication, but we did have division. We did that. Now we have addition, no addition, but we do have some subtraction. So the last step is to do 5 minus 2, which is 3. So our result of that problem gives us 3. Okay, So now that we've done a couple of examples involving multiplication, division, addition, and subtraction, I have two examples for you to try. Okay, now in our next example, we are going to throw in some parentheses. So again, if we think about our order of operations, PEMDAS, now notice in this problem, we do have parentheses. So we're going to start with the operation inside of parentheses, which is 8 minus 2, which gives us 6. And now we drop down the rest of the problem, 12 divided by. And 12 divided by 6 is division. So that's our only operation left. 12 divided by 6 gives us 2. And our result then is 2 for this problem. Okay, let's do one more example and then you'll get a chance to practice some problems with parentheses. Our last example for today has 3 different operations in it. So let's see where to start. So if we think about PEMDAS, we do have parentheses. So we're going to start there with P. 4 minus 2 is inside of the parentheses. So we do that operation first. And now we just drop down the rest of the problem. So we have 10 minus 4 times, and now this part gives us 2. So we did our parentheses. We don't have exponents. We do have multiplication. So now we're going to skip ahead to the 4 times 2. So 4 times 2 is our multiplication part. That gives us 8. So now we did our multiplication. We don't have any division. We don't have any addition, but we do have subtraction left. Now we have 10 minus 8. So 10 minus 8 is going to give us our result of 2 would be our answer here. Okay, so now that you've seen some examples just reviewing PEMDAS, we are going to have 2 more problems to try.